Yeah, I started rolling this around in my mind. And the word I was actually trying to look for, and I keep forgetting to bring up, is candor. That was really something. This came up at some point recently in some hearing. Said uh, this party, one of defense, or I think it was the prosecutor or the attorney general. What was it? Did not conduct themselves. It was something like conduct themselves toward the court with candor. And so I started to really think about that. That used to be a big deal. We used to use that word more often, and use that kind of phrase more often. And one of the key things about this is this idea of an issue with the Democrats and this subjective truth thing. A lot of this does go to their embracing of Vedanta and kind of white Hinduism, so that the truth is this mystical gossamer thing of the unity and the mishmash and the pish posh, which is not the Greek way of seeing it, where the truth can absolutely be ascertained with the rational functions of the human mind, and that's and then the various methods of investigation. Buddhists also, as well, really actually are much harder on this idea, where it's like, yeah, the truth value of things can absolutely be ascertained, because there is that which is accurate and measurable through metrics. It's because Buddhists had no issue with the use of metric systems, of some sort to measure phenomena. Like they're kind of notorious for their famous use of measurements of time, and so this idea, then you get this weirdo world after after World War II of these thinkers, that it's like the truth is subjective. It's where the Marxists step in and kind of try to use various the mysticism of the day that's like cool among the middle class, whether it was Kabbalah, Hindu stuff, Buddhist stuff. Like everybody knows Thich Nhat Hanh as far as American Buddhism goes, but very few. And they know the Dalai Lama. The thing is, though, have they read things that the Dalai Lama wrote that were really like commentaries on the Buddhist religion? One was fundamental wisdom, and another transcendental wisdom, and he explores especially his school of Buddhist wisdom, the Nagarjuna lineage. And so this is something that absolutely, being fully grounded in right views, that you would understand that which is real and accurate, and can be measured and confirmed through with the use of the rational mind, and that which is beyond that. These are clearly understood when you actually are aware of what these people think, and you really respect what they think. Same you find with Taoists widely across. There's this spiritualism that comes with Chinese culture through what we think of as Taoism. But when it comes down to it, it's like, no, these are incredibly practical people who have long used what we would consider science. They're using metrics. That's what's going on. They're using some form of metrics to measure things. That's all it is. So they understand that which is accurate and real and true from that which is kind of superstition. And now the problem is everybody has so much superstition in their society in one way or another. Such as, a lot of what Marxism has done is helped certain superstitious ideas. One of which is like this idea that what if, there's some human soul that if you hadn't, been so hard on them, they would have, and this, that, or the other. We don't apply this, the same kind of thinking isn't applied to babies in the womb, but they go along with this. But this kind of, this would be something then that the answer would come out of Marxism as well. That's why you have this universal kind of charitable thing. With Christians, it's like, no, they're going to have to change. They're going to have to decide to change at some point, and there's no way around that. Now, how they'll change, what that'll be, that almost you'll always get, well, that's going to be up to them. It has to do with their individual life. This is, again, one of these thinkings that puts you in the individualist corner of the political delta. And that's the beauty of that religion. At some point, it's about you. But you're at fault, and that's why people they don't like it so much. So I started thinking more then about, okay, so what we have here now is people moving away from voting for Biden. Cenk Uyghur had done this great kind of little thing where he was saying, well, he's not able to string sentences together anymore. So this was just really this, and very valid, very, very valid appeal to, well, he can't do it. He's just not there for it. He can't do it. And we all look bad because we're forcing this guy to do something he can't do. And it just is getting worse all the time. So, and it makes everybody look bad. And also it gets into, and that's not the goal. The goal is to have a stable, successful society and slow, stable growth, and safety and security and preserving the republic. Ideally, that's kind of most people generally kind of are going to want. I don't want it worse. I want things normal, and I don't want it worse. And there's nothing that indicates, there's nothing about Biden at present that shows, even if he were to be reelected, that he wouldn't make things worse, that he seems to be into that his thinking seems to be, it doesn't matter what any of you tell me, I'm going to just do it, and I don't care. And so now this thing that I was mentioning before, the true, the good, and the beautiful. And that why you're finding now the millennials and Gen Zers are like embracing hard Christian ideal philosophy and like hard Christian theology, like saying things that are based as hell, that I'm like, wow, like if Trump was punk rock, like Johnny Rotten said, all these kids are pure oi, and only you old punk rockers will understand what that reference is to. We're looking at these kids and we're like, holy fucking shit, dude. Imagine the war in the terraces now, like what it would be like. This is way beyond this. It doesn't have the violence of the 70s, but yet it has a lot of the sentiments of the 70s. And I started walking through it. Well, thankfully, the left exposed that they were like they were in the 70s. And without that, there was no way, there was just simply, nothing else would have happened. They were kind of like the shock wave that moved everything. And I'm more and more, I'm kind of like, this is at some point going to be this thing of like, without them kind of doing that, you wouldn't have had such a massive change. Like right now, I'm going to go home and take a look at what the EU elections are about. And, that what I called, now you were saying, one of you said, it was like almost a decade ago I made that video about there is a girl right now and she is going to lead her country to total and complete anti-Islamic glory. And she is 12. And you said it was about a decade ago, and now we're seeing it. And and I'm just now like, I get to go home, play my EVE Online, and listen to how the left propelled the right into the stratosphere. I mean, the right now, like, this is a matter of it does how much it's gas now. I mean, how much higher does this rocket fly? And then and I think it's also kind of funny, how good is this Starship test? This is going to be amazing. This is really pretty amazing, and I like sit back and I'm like, and if it wasn't for when the left did this, and people reacted so negatively, and then rather than them saying, we understand that you don't like the way that we made Ariel a black chick rather than a redhead, because we seem to be systematically making redhead characters into black people. We understand that. It might seem like we're doing that. It just is a coincidence. Please, and then what you do is you re-release the old movie physically in a physical format with a whole new, you do a whole deal. You do all the bells and whistles that come with it, booklets, maybe a little artwork for a wall. Comes with a little crab, was it, or lobster? A little lobster dude, wasn't she? Had a lobster hanging out with her or something like that. I forget now. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. And so, you do that, and you sell like a gorillion of those, and you make all sorts of money on them, because you already probably have divisions in Disney that are totally like set up for this kind of thing, where you're going to, make a bunch of tchotchkes and sell them, And people are like, oh, well, so I should see the new one and buy the old one hard copy and buy like 2 of them and give one to my like friend's daughter, or give it to my niece, or give it to my wife, she loves this, her name's Ariel, and that kind of thing. So but they didn't do that. And so it becomes, so this is really something spiteful that you guys have, like, you're just kind of systematically erasing redheads. Like, they didn't do anything that would have assuaged then suspicion of a suspicion of like, oh, we really think you guys are probably bad dealers in some way. You're bad news bears. No way, dude. No way, bro. And so, because this kept happening with the left of center, it was kind of, but recently I had to sit back. Be thankful that they said it. They said it out loud. So now and that's great. And so I started walking through, what's the news over the last couple days, this, that, and the other. And it's more and more of this kind of thing. Hey. And where it's like, oh, that, this person just said that out loud. Even though you would think this would be like ruinous to their career, ruinous to their company. Like, why would you say something out loud about the fan base of you're a performer? But and then I thought I'm like, no, thank goodness this person is a famous performer trying to be more famous, and just said this about their fan base, revealing who they really are. Thank goodness they did that, because now they're not hiding it. Where you kind of always get this feeling that that's what this performer or that performer thinks. But no, this performer has let you know. And with revelation, there is truth. And so I think Cenk is starting to understand, like, wow, people really hate my nephew Hassan. People really associate us with, like, the worst aspects of the left, the kind of weirdest end of the sexual revolution. They really, people really, we're not winning people by kind of earning fame through excellence. It's more that we're earning infamy by having views that are, just having very, very, very bad views. And ascribing to ideologies that have very, very checkered histories of being chaotic and a part of the overthrow of general order in society. So, and not in a good way. And not in a good way. And so I really started to think, like, no, this is so good that these people are exposing that no, this is that, like, either they're going to do something to assuage anybody thinking this about them, or they actually are revealing this is how they really think. And the beauty of it is that the right, people have to constantly misinterpret the right and wildly misinterpret it. And so that was something I started to roll around. I started to roll around like, well, so what is the right revealing about itself? And so one of the things I started to think about was, I was like, that, even with this idea of, X has allowed that guy Nicholas Fuentes on again, this, that, and the other. If you read what people say about him, you'd be sitting back like, so actually this guy's not really well liked on the right, though he's on the right. Like, he's got a very specific, fan base, and people widely mock them. Like, it's, as you start to walk through it logically. So it's like, so this isn't exactly like some super popular dude. He's very popular, but he's really, there's a lot of people that they don't really like him that much, that they find what he says interesting. So I've heard this from enough people of a wide variety of stances, that I'm like, okay, interesting. Note, okay, and then people who will quote him and know what he's up to, who are on the left. I'm like, so okay, so you're this is what you do. You actually keep track of this kid. Okay, noted. And so I've had to think, yeah, thankfully, the ideas that are terrible on the right, as embodied in Nicolas J. Fuentes, are attracting lots of people to debate this idea, to take the idea on in their mind and be like, well, okay, if you say this study shows da-da-da, and they're looking into it, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, and then they're going to be drawn to, oh, okay, so this is what G is, blah, blah. They're probably going to start looking up videos on, like, am I stupid, things like that. Like, they're going to at some point have to embrace truth, or they will just have to throw everything Nick says out and just be like, he's a Nazi. I don't care. He's a Nazi. And that's the beauty. Then you know what level of G you're probably dealing with. It's revealed itself. These are people that they're not really smart enough to wage the culture war if they're doing that. And unfortunately, somebody like Fuentes, he's going to. I think they're setting up for a bikini party. Fuentes is somebody who he's putting himself into a position that it's like he's young and firing on all cylinders, and likes it, he makes people have to think about, is this true? Because if it's not, if it is, it feels like it's not good, but it's not good, but I don't want it to be true, but, well, I guess it's more that it's not beautiful, but, according to this data, it kind of seems true, and it's, because they're not getting that, no, it is as it is, and it's true, no, it's true, and the beauty and the good will come in time, But you gotta handle the emotional reaction to what is true. It's gotta sublimate to the rational mind, and you can't make anything beautiful or good out of it. And that's it. All right, well, I'll talk to you guys later.